Hello everyone and welcome back to a Forza Horizon 2 free roaming session. I'm now in my Silvia S15 Drift Car that I hope you saw in my previous drift build video. This one's fully kitted out with race inspired graphics, which I'll show you if we can get into an outside view. So it looks red from behind, but it's actually got, so if we get it sideways, you can see that those stripes. Nice luminous wheels too. Loads of graphics down the side of it. You know, sponsor stickers, carbon hood, massive rear wing. So the plan for today is I'm currently heading down to the what is it, like the kind of warehouse area to do a bit of drifting. And I think I'm going to try and show you my tuning setup, because I did mention in that video that I've got quite a crazy tune running. So I'll run you through my settings and show you what everything is, and give you some maybe some advice on setting up your own tuning setup. I mean, disclaimers first of all, I'm not much of a drifter in Forza games. This is pretty much the first time I've given it a go. Although, I don't know, the tips might help out, although as you'll probably see, my settings might be completely different to someone else's video that you might see, so it's always worth just you know, play around with the settings yourself, you know, max out all the settings one way, then max them out another way, and then see how they compare and see how they feel. So just get a bit of drifting going first, get warmed up a bit, see if I can actually do it. Too much. Whoa!
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Try and drift through these two doorways. Oh, okay. I've not done any of this sort of drifting lark for a number of days, so I need to warm up a bit. A couple of techniques I use though is either to give it a quick tap of the handbrake like that, and hope that don't spin out or hit a wall, or just give it a little clutch kick, you know, just to get those wheels spinning. Let's try going through these warehouses again. It's like a little gymkhana area, this. Oh, the storm's coming, Mr. Wayne. Oh, too far. Anyway, let's take a look at this drift setup, and I'll try and talk you through my tuning settings. So where are we? Cars, tune car. So first of all, tyre pressures. You want to run your tyre pressures slightly lower, because as the wheels spin, they obviously heat up, and then they go back up to the recommended 32 psi pressure, which is where you get, you know, kind of most of your grip. So if I just turn on telemetry quickly, let's find tyre pressures somewhere on there. Is it? There, let's see the pressures are currently quite high at 32, probably because I've already been spinning them up and warming them up. But you see, as I like go razzing around and drifting, the back wheels will hopefully increase in pressure. But anyway, that's the theory. So with that in mind, you run your front tyre pressures that obviously aren't going to be spinning as much. So 28 usually does, and then your rear tyres want to be as low as like 26 for them to then warm up, and the heat makes the pressure increase. It just gives you a bit more grip, so your tyres don't lose grip when they get to, you know, too high a pressure. So if you left it at the standard, what is it, 30, 32, you know, they might increase up to like almost up to 40 degrees, which is when you're going to be losing traction. Alignment's the main thing for drifting though. Camber is when your wheels are like pointing inwards like that, and obviously positive camber is when they're out like that, but I can't think of any situation where you'd have your wheels pointing like that. Obviously wheels like that are going to allow for, you know, faster cornering and more grip, so you're going to want to increase your front camber so that your front wheels are like that, but not necessarily your back ones, because you want to maintain grip on the front but not on the back when drifting. Let's turn this telemetry off. Although you do want to have some camber on the back, because you don't want your car just to spin around straight away like that. So it's just a case of like fine-tuning it. I've set this car up as like a full-on drifter, to the point where it doesn't really drive very well in a straight line, but it feels nice when it's going sideways. So if I get it going too much handbrake, then come on. So I've got mine so that when it's going sideways like that, you can imagine that camber really helps. So you don't end up with like a 4-wheel skid or start understeering when you want to get the back end round. So I've gone for the full -5 degrees negative camber, and then I've just gone for 1 degree on the rear. You can fine tune that if you find that you are spinning around too much. You can increase that. So if I increase it to 2. Let's see how that feels. I've been spinning a bit as I started today. So that kind of helped a little bit then, I think. Almost spun, but see, that helps. I mean, I've almost managed to keep that going. If you're a bit too heavy on your throttle, that can often cause you to spin out, so that extra bit of camber can probably help there, so that you don't end up,
you have arrived, you know,
just going around in circles. Oops. Press the wrong button.
Dude, come on in.
Don't want to buy an Audi. Tune car, that's it. So what's next? Tow is another thing that I've completely maxed out. Tow out on the fronts really gives you, especially if you're using a wheel, gives you a really strong pull on the steering wheel as you're going sideways. It makes it feel really planted. Although this does have a negative effect in that it just makes your car handle like a shopping trolley when you're going in a straight line, and that's kind of balanced with on the rear with a tiny bit of toe in on the back wheels. And then caster is, I don't think there's any downside to running full caster. Basically that just makes your wheels, if you imagine like a motorcycle as like a Harley or a chopper, where the forks go out and the front wheels kind of connect at an angle. As you imagine, as that wheel turns, it's going to be turning on an angle as opposed to being straight up and turning left and right, and that really helps with your. It gives you the same benefits of your camber and allows you to run more or run less camber, so then you don't have to have the negative impact of the negative camber, if that all makes sense. But I mean, in my case, I'm running negative camber as well as full caster. So if you wanted to make a car that can be drifted but still drives pretty well, you know, on the road, then you'd play around with less camber but more caster, and maybe less tow as well. I mean, I'll see if you can see if I get a drift going. I've got some really nice force feedback on my wheel that I can use to finally control the steering thanks to that tow out. But as a result, if I drive in a straight line, if I'm on the road, I can steer the wheel that much without the car actually turning. You know, it feels awful to drive normally. But like I said, when you get to like that, you get some really nice force feedback on it. But again, these settings might be completely different to what other people are running. So just play around and see how they feel for you. Anti-roll bars, I don't think I've done really that much on those. Maybe softened them up slightly. too stiff a car can just make it kind of break free and lose traction, which is kind of what you want, but you also don't want it. So you want to keep it in control. Same goes with the spring rates. You don't want them too stiff, but you definitely want the rears a little bit softer, so it kind of so you kind of maintain that control, so the car kind of like squats down a little bit. But again, you don't want it too soft, because you don't want your car being like a blob of jelly, so that every time you move the steering wheel or accelerate or decelerate, it kind of like just goes blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I seem to be spending most time going around in circles in this video, but damping, pretty much same goes. You can just leave that as standard, I reckon. But the other main thing is your differential. I'm still trying to decide whether I like it fully locked out at 100%, or whether I just like it at, you know, kind of like 80, 90. If you have it too low, basically what you're going to be doing is kind of spinning one wheel and maintaining traction on the other, which is obviously not a proper drift. So locking it out makes sure that as soon as one wheel starts spinning, they both start spinning. But having it too high and locked out can result in you just spinning straight round. So having it set at around 90 can help prevent that. And deceleration, when you let off the accelerator, when you let off the gas, if you have it on 100%, that can result in some lift off oversteer, you know. And so obviously when you're going to lift off the gas is when you're going sideways too much, and it's almost at that point where you're going to spin out. So if you've got your diff maxed out, lifting off that throttle can result in you you know, spinning out. So some people like to run that at 0, so that when they're going too sideways, they can lift off the gas, and that'll bring it back in line. I guess one other thing to bear in mind is your gears as well, and selecting the gear that you want to drift in. I mean, I'm basically just drifting in second gear, so I've got the gears so that I'm not redlining and bouncing off the rev limiter when I've got those rear wheels spinning. A lot of people do prefer to drift in third gear, so they'll have the gearing set so that their acceleration is a lot higher. Whoa, oh. So you don't want the revs being too low, because then you're not going to be able to spin those wheels. So if I try some third gear, you see how it's like bogging down a little bit, and it's not got enough power to spin those wheels. So in that case, if I wanted to drift in third gear, I'd adjust this gearing. So if I bring that up to acceleration, with being in third gear now, I'm at much higher revs. Don't go too far. If you did enjoy the video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Just help spread the word and give my videos a bit more widespread exposure. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.